Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to talk about Married at First Sight. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned. But before we begin, I would like for everyone to check out my website, lavidarosastyle.com, where you can find cute accessories like my earrings and also cute lashes. You can wear them with a full face, or you could just wear them bare face like I am right now. Also, a lot of y'all like the wig from my last review, which is the one I'm wearing right now. I actually have a review that's live right now. Go check it out. You can find out all the details on this wig. Also, it's a couple other cute ones that I think you might like as well. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Ciao. It's hard for me to watch this woman be subjected to this. And it's just gonna be even harder and harder every week. It's hard for me to remain unspoiled because I feel like a lot of this is playing out on social media right now, which I thought they weren't supposed to be on social media right now. Y'all, I just don't even know what to do. Let me become at peace and let's talk about my favorite couple, Vincent and Brianna. Immediately we find out that Vincent's grandmother is okay, and I was like, whew, sigh of relief. She's doing better. They made a very deep connection based off of this tragic moment and how, Brianna handled it. It drew them even closer. They're talking to each other. He brings up, her bossiness and how her family, made sure to let him know she was bossy. Like, he can't never come into this and saying he didn't know that because the family threw her under the bus at the wedding. During the ceremony. But he said he doesn't mind the bossiness as long as she treats him right. So, I mean, there you go. They seem like they're a really good match, y'all. Some men like that. You know what I'm saying? Some men need that. So, he seems like one of those men. They discuss children and they're going to wait 3 years. Brianna got the right mindset. She says it's way too soon. They just met each other. Let's get some time to get to know each other. Later on in the episode, we see that they have consummated their marriage. And I don't know, I just love how expressive Vincent is with his feelings. He doesn't mind laying it all out there and just telling her exactly how he feels about her. And it just comes off as so genuine and special. And I feel like he's really treating her like a queen. I hope this is not just his representative. I hope this is truly who he is and he truly treats her like a queen, like for the rest of their relationship, for the rest of their life. Let's move on to Clara and Ryan. Even though we see Ryan and Clara say they have so many similarities, I'm seeing a lot of disparities. I'm seeing a lot of we ain't agreeing, like on a lot of things. Like every time we see them talk, it's something major that they disagree on, that they're kind of like smiling and grinning and, pressing their way through. But it's y'all have some major differences that I think in the long run, unless y'all compromise or are willing to compromise or someone changes their stance on this, I don't know that they gonna work. Like, it's cute for now, they're on the honeymoon, but wait till they get back to real life and things get real. And Clara even alluded to this later on, but Ryan is like, he has kind of rose-colored glasses right now with thinking everything is going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I don't think so. And I think Clara sees it for what it is, but she's just going with the flow right now because they haven't hit that wall. For instance, Ryan is very strict with his routine. Like, I feel like he could map out his routine by hour. 5 o'clock a.m., wake up, work out. 6 a.m., I have my morning smoothie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he seems like he has that sort of strict routine. And he says he could do this same exact thing every single day, wake up and read the same paper. That's just the way he works. He's very analytical. And she's like the complete opposite. She's very spontaneous. Even her career is very spontaneous. And sporadic with the schedule. Like, she's a flight attendant, so flights get delayed. She don't get to do this and do that. I mean, you can't really put her on a strict schedule. She doesn't want to be put on a strict schedule. They have a good time. Like, they seem to mesh well, their personalities, as far as their interactions, and even with showing affection, they seem to be comfortable with that. But it's just some things that they clash on, then I think it's going to be a problem. Because when they get on the subject of children, they both want children, so that's good. But they and then they talk about kids' names, and she liked the name Vera because that was her aunt's name, and had the nerve to be looking at him crazy because he wanted to name the child after his uncle and his dad, whose name is Elton. It's like, girl, Vera and Elton, both of those are extremely old names. So, like, I don't know why you looking at him crazy. Vera is very Golden Girls-ish. Don't play. But then they get on how they want to raise the children. She says she wants to be open to whatever the child wants. You know, she's going to support the child no matter what. And she wants the child to, like, you know, basically forge their own path and, you know, choose what they want. And that includes religion, you know, whether they want to be a Christian or a Muslim or whatever they want to choose. And he is very like, I want my kids in church. And a lot of people last week thought that was just the parents that felt that way. For some reason, someone as strict as Ryan is, I knew he was going to be that type of person and want to take their kids to church every Sunday and possibly Wednesday night and want them to have that background. And so I think that is going to present a problem. Why would the experts match someone who says they are burnt out on the church with someone who wants their family to be in church? Why? Y'all don't do enough research. Y'all don't. Y'all don't do enough. I don't know if y'all got more lax within these last seasons, but y'all have to do better when it comes to matching these people. They have fundamental differences that are deal breakers. Like, yeah, I think that things will be fine as long as they don't have kids, but as soon as they have kids, I feel like that is going to be a huge problem. Then later on, when they're eating dinner, she is talking about how messy she is. I mean, low-key bragging about it too, girl. Like, you bragging about being nasty? Like, she said her clothes everywhere, you know, the hair everywhere. She made it sound like she was a hoarder or something. That's what I was picturing in my mind. And he was like, so basically I'm going to be cleaning up after you. And she was like, well, how about you put the clothes in the washer and I'll fold them? We'll see if it actually goes down like that. He's very particular. So I just, that is going to be a clashing moment. He does say he doesn't have a lot of closet space, so you just know her stuff is going to be everywhere. It's everywhere right now. She's scared that he's not ready to live with someone else and that he's, you know, not gonna be willing to concede his space. And I think he's really not gonna be willing to concede his space if you're gonna be nasty. If you're gonna like trash his place, of course he's not gonna like that. Like, I understand what she's saying. He's never lived with a woman, so he doesn't know how that is. But girl, you are going to have to start cleaning up after yourself as well, putting your stuff away. Like, maybe that's the problem someone had with you in the past, is that you were sloppy. Let's move on to Virginia and Eric. So he seems to be a stickler about time. He's very efficient and she's very slow and lackadaisical. Yeah, they're complete opposites when it comes to that. You know, people when they're in the service, like when they're in the Air Force, National Guard, stuff like that, they get conditioned to be clean and to, you know, be on a certain schedule. And so I see why he is like that, but Haley, she likes to turn up. So clearly she be late all the time. She even says she be late for work all the time and they just let her be late. So the more and more we watch them, we see that Eric, he's 34, but he's an older 34. He's a very mature 34. He's a very much, I want to settle down. I have set up this lifestyle for me to just drop a wife in it, you know, because that's all I'm missing. That's where he is in his life. And Haley is a very young 26. I want to party. I don't really care about all this. All I want to do is turn up and drink and go out. You know, she even said herself, she basically signed up for this experiment, not because she necessarily wanted to get married, but because nothing else was working out. That is not a good reason. You know, she brings up her male friends and he thinks that men and women can't be friends unless the guy is gay or the guy is dating her friend. And That's a very old school ideal. That's the way, older people would think. If you ask any older person, they would say the same thing. I actually just saw a video of Steve Harvey talking about this, and I can see where they're coming from, but I do think there are men and women that legitimately have platonic relationships. I've seen it. At one point, I believe that you couldn't, but I've seen people have platonic relationships. Nothing going on there. They're like brother and sister. So I do think it's possible, but I do think there are those men that are wolf in sheep's clothing, that at any moment of vulnerability, they're just waiting in the background and they'll pounce. I do know about those men too, because I've experienced that as well, and it's hard to know the difference sometimes. This whole conversation did make him come off a little jealous and controlling, as well as some other things that he said. Later on, they were talking about her careers, and she was saying he's way more established than her, and she's working to, build herself up to where he may be one day. He basically laid it out there and made it seem like, look, whether you have a job or not, I'm going to take care of you. He said he built this life to just drop a wife in it. And it makes me think that he likes the fact that she's young so he can mold her. But I don't know if she's moldable. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if she wants to be molded. I don't see much wrong with that if the woman wants to be molded, because it's not like she's like 18. She's 26. She says she thinks both people in the relationship should contribute financially. So she seems like the type to not mind a 50-50, contribution. Another thing that makes me think that he wants a stay-at-home wife that caters to him is he's going to be gone 15 days out of the month. And he said he grew up like that. He doesn't know any other way. His dad was a pilot. They lived the same way. His mother seems like she was that, stay-at-home wife and took care of the household while he was gone. Because if you're gone half the month, the woman, that's going to be on the woman to take care of everything. And she says she works a 9 to 5, and if he's gone 15 days, when am I gonna see you? I'm seeing a little bit of red flags here, even though they're like laughing and smiling through it. I think even Haley is seeing a little bit of red flags, honestly. I feel like because she's seen her parents go through divorce, she could see where cracks can begin and wear away at marriage, and she wants to avoid that. He said that the reason why he's single right now is because people can't handle his career and him being gone like this. And she's like, well, you're talking about having kids, and if we have a child, I'm gonna be the one to take care of this child most of the time. Yeah, she's scared that it's gonna have to be her parenting majority of the time, and I feel like that's a real fear. I feel like she has some legitimate things to be worried about as well. Like, we've been focusing mainly on the fact that she's a lush. I mean, that is something to be worried about. Like, I wonder how she is day to day. She has been on trips, so I will give her a pass on her drinking on this trip. But that's his concerns for her, but her concerns for him are legitimate. Let's move on to Jacob the robot and Haley. Jacob the robot, he's starting to show a little bit more personality. I'm seeing a little bit more hope for them than I did before. At the beginning of this episode, though, he weirded me and her all the way out. Eating these raw onions and thinking she gonna kiss you after this. Boy, bye. Ew. That was weird because he stared at her. That's just weird. Don't do that. He was so amused by it. He thought that was just so cute. There ain't nothing appealing about stank onion breath. Later on, they had a really, really, really cute date at the aquarium. And even though everything he says still revolves around the 80s and Star Wars, and your favorite car is a DeLorean, something that doesn't even truly exist, only in an 80s movie. And he be saying weird stuff like, do you think a straw has one hole or two? I say two because my mouth and butt I want to think of them as different holes. It's weird, but the way, I feel like in that moment, something was charming about it. Yeah, it sounds crazy if you didn't watch the episode. It sounds crazy, but there was something charming about him being so open to be corny and to like say his most embarrassing moments. Like, he wore like a thong years ago, and that was before cell phones. Like, he he was warming her up. Like, she was really into this date. You could tell, like, before her smiling was just like a nervous, like, I just can't wait for this to be over. And this smile was like, oh, you a little bit more attractive than I thought you were. She really is warming up to him. And I think they opened up a little bit more on this date. And she talked about her first major relationship was at 15. Really? I think that's the reason why she is so soured on relationships, and she was burnt out on relationships, because she got too serious too early. 15, I feel like nobody should be in no serious relationship at 15, because I mean, your brain doesn't fully develop until 25. So y'all 15-year-olds, their hormones are raging. You don't know how to properly communicate. You don't know how to handle these emotions that you're experiencing. I feel like it's toxic, honestly, to be in a serious relationship that you feel obligated to be in. I feel like that's too early. And so it makes more sense to me now that she hasn't wanted to be in a relationship in 7 years, because I imagine that was a terrible experience for her, whether she views it that way or not. But anyway, by the end of the day, they're looking into each other's eyes, staring, longingly, and they kiss. It was a very awkward kiss, low key, but it was just so cute. I'm like, y'all are really getting comfortable with each other. I'm liking it. And Jacob, I might have to stop calling him Jacob the robot, because he loosened up. He did. He's starting to show his personality, and it's not my favorite, but it was cute. Oh my goodness. Now I'm about to get tired again. Chris and Paige. Where are the experts? Where y'all at? Because I feel like at this point, with all of this going on, they need to be flown in. Forget FaceTime. We need y'all flown in, because we need y'all to handle this problem that y'all made. Y'all did this. So I'm going to need for all of them to come in, and we need to have a full conference with this couple by themselves. So anyway, they can't even enjoy this trip. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I can't believe Paige had to learn about this baby on the honeymoon. I didn't know she learned about it this soon, because like I said, y'all know I don't do spoilers, so I didn't know when she found out. To know that she found out on the honeymoon, that's when she had to find out. It just keeps getting worse. And he didn't even want to man up and tell her. The producers had to literally force him. Because when they sat down for breakfast, out of nowhere, nobody at all. Here's Chris. I have some devastating news. It's going to change my life and your life for the worst. But I don't want to tell you what it is. What? And she's like, Chris, what is it? No, it's going to be real tough and hard on me, but I'm just going to have to deal with this on my own. Let's go to the pool. No, for real. Tell me, because this affects me too. Just leave it alone. Don't even bring it up again. What? I would have flipped that entire table on him. Paige, where is this calmness coming from? I mean, because I would be ready to fight him. First of all, I wouldn't even be here. But if I did decide to stay, I would be ready to fight him. Because there's something so sinister with how he's handling this. It's like, it's bad enough the situation is what it is, but the way he's dragging it out, the way he's like really twisting the knife is bothering me, y'all. It's bothering me. It's like, are you trying to run her away? Or are you trying to make her miserable? Do you get off on that? I don't know which one it is. So when he's doing all this, it's like, where's Montre when you need him? Because these producers, she goes out there and she's like, look, y'all need to tell me what's going on. I can't tell you. He needs to tell you. It's like they wanted this moment. They wanted the moment where she found out on camera and blew up. Anyway, he drugged her to the bathroom and he told her the devastating news. And then he just leaves, closed the door, walks out nonchalant, like nothing was like, oh yeah, I told her. And then sat down as if he's the one we should be concerned about. Paige is in there her whole world has been rocked once again, like back to back. This is the third day they've been married. And then we have this microscope on her while she's dealing with some of the worst news she's ever received. It was so difficult to watch. She just cannot catch a break. So then they have Paige meet up with Brianna and Vincent meet up with Chris. I am happy that Paige has Brianna in her corner, you know, because she seems like she's solid and really cares about Paige. When she told Brianna, she was completely shocked, and, you know, Paige is obviously numb. She says he was engaged in February, but it's not adding up because he called off the engagement a couple of months before he signed up for this experiment. And according to Chris, the woman is 6 weeks along, meaning that 6 weeks before he signed up for this experiment or got chosen, he slept with her. And he said he slept with her because her daddy died and, you know, whatever. You should have taken yourself out of this experiment then. I feel he should have taken his own self out, because if you are still messing around with your ex 6 weeks before you are chosen, then you are not over her. It had been a month and a half. She's nervous that he'll drop the relationship and go back to his ex because they have history and they have a baby. And I'm like, yes, Paige, this is the main reason why you should be getting up and walking out. Brianna wasn't outwardly encouraging her to leave, but she was like subconsciously saying, girl, worry about you. Don't worry about him. He was not worried about you when he was sleeping with her and got that woman pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Be more concerned about your own feelings. According to you, there's nothing holding you there. Y'all don't even have a connection, really. And I'm not about to be nobody's girl Melanie. I'm not about to be girl Melanie walking around with a brand new baby and people like, oh, when did you have her? Oh no, this is my husband's baby with his ex. What? I'm not about, because see, there's a certain bitterness that's going to come along with that. And we're going to talk about this more later, but no, I'm not going to subject myself to that. And poor baby, I feel so sorry that the child is getting caught up in this messy situation. Chris met up with Vincent, and when he told Vincent had a huge reaction. I thought that was hilarious. The way it was like Vincent saw a horror movie or something. Vincent is very expressive, and it's so funny. Watch Vincent when like major things are happening, like when bombs are being dropped. Look at Vincent, because he is hilarious. His facial expressions. He told Vincent that she's known for a few weeks, but waited until he got married to tell him. And I'm like, how would she know that she waited to tell you until you got married if she didn't know that you were married? You had to tell her she was married. So why would you say that she waited until after you got married? That's not adding up for me. I don't put it past Chris that he didn't already know and he just wanted to start all this drama right now. Like I wouldn't put it past him that he knew at the wedding, because he was acting very funny when his fiance was brought up, and he would bring her up. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chris didn't already know that she was pregnant. He asked him if Paige was not in the picture, would he get back with his ex? And basically he said yes, that would be his inclination, because, you know, he did love this woman and he would want to have a family. So then him and Paige met up for dinner. My grandma, as soon as they sat down, my grandma was like, throw the water on him. She said she would have threw some water on him. So then he told her the circumstances, you know, as to how the baby was conceived. When she asked how the girl felt about this situation, he literally laughed when he told her that, yeah, I had to tell her I was married. He was laughing. So he got a sick pleasure out of telling that woman he was married. Yeah, something wrong with him. You could see it all over his face. Yeah, I had to tell her we was married. Like he wanted to twist a knife into her too. He likes to cause this sort of misery. I'm sorry. He's a villain. He's a villain. He asked her if this was decision day, what would you say? She was like, I would say no. And then he starts buttering her up. He starts saying that, you know, she's going to come first in a relationship. Like, you know, we're married and I'm going to put my wife first. And I'm like, Paige, please do not fall for this, because he's saying this now, but a baby is always going to come first, especially a brand new baby and a baby mama over here wanting this child support, wanting him to be there for the child. That child is going to come first. And what I don't understand is why Paige is willing to go through this again, because she says she's already played stepmama in a relationship and the child comes first. She's already dealt with this. And just the fact that she's willing to go through this again. Personally, I've talked to a man with a child before. The child comes first. If the man is worth anything, he's going to put his children first. It's just, it is what it is. If the child gets sick, he's going to have to take care of it. If the child has a game, he's going to have to go to it. The child, it comes first, okay? When it comes down to money, he's going to have to buy diapers. When it, you know, formula, things, the child is going to come first. The child is going to come first. It doesn't matter if you're the wife. If y'all had this child together, then y'all both could put the child first. And it wouldn't even be, you know what I'm saying? Even that would be a strain. But at least it will only be between you two. But there's another person in this equation. Paige, why would you want to deal with this? This is not worth your sanity. And it makes me feel like, do you not think you deserve better? And if she puts God in it one more time, if she puts God in this one more time, the devil is the author of confusion. This whole situation is nothing but confusion. Just because you signed up for this process and you got chosen, that doesn't mean it was of God. God didn't do this. Stop putting it on God, because my God wouldn't do this. Okay? Stop putting this on God. and being a wife and upholding your vows. This man is not worthy of committing yourself to. Why are you doing this? She even got excited because he knew her real name. I mean, the bar is on the floor. The bar is down there with Satan himself. Because he remembered your middle name? Are we in middle school? Y'all got way more serious issues than him knowing your middle name. And all he has to do is come in here and butter you up and say how sweet of a person you are and how they could have matched him up with a better person. Even though he said just yesterday that he wasn't attracted to you after sleeping with you twice. We're just going to throw all of that away because he knew your middle name and he complimented you and gave you a rose. And I don't even want to go this hard on Paige, but it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Honestly, it just makes me feel like Paige is going to be pregnant by decision day. She's going to be pregnant before this experiment is over. And I haven't saw any spoilers. I don't know if Paige gets pregnant or not. But it just based off of this last conversation right here, and the preview of them saying they don't use protection, I just feel like Paige is going to get pregnant. I feel like she's going to allow herself to get pregnant because she's going to want a baby as well, to feel like she has some stake in this situation, that this other baby mama isn't going to come first. It's like it's a Melanie it's classic Melanie and Derwin and Janae situation. If y'all watch the game, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. He was talking about wanting to get her pregnant. Worry about the child you have on the way, sir. Are you crazy? So finally, they meet up all together. Brianna and Vincent, they have the most chemistry out of everybody. But everybody is getting along. Everybody is, you know, they're clicking for the most part. Except for Chris and Paige. And we know why, but, you know, Vincent and Brianna know why. But everybody else, it's like a very awkward tension and they don't know. So of course they had to tell him. Paige is putting on a brave face and, you know, I'm really mad he made her do a lot of the talking. He should have taken over and stepped up because it's your fault they are in any of this. You are causing all of this. And I know the producers put them up to telling everybody, but everybody needs to know. They do. And at this point, everybody needs to know Paige needs to have a support system. I hate when women suffer in silence on this show, so I'm glad they're putting this on blast. Vincent in his tight shirt was cracking me up once again. Vincent, go one size up, just one. He was cracking me up because when he was telling everybody the news, he could not even look. He was like, he couldn't even look. It was so cringy. I am Vincent in these situations. Please, look, I don't even want to sit here and listen. It's too cringy. It's cringy to watch. But Clara was clearly over it. Clara was mad. You could tell she has a special place in her heart for Paige already. And she said the fact that Paige was sticking around is Stockholm Syndrome and she would have been gone. And they were very outwardly supportive of mainly Paige because this is happening to her. You are the culprit, sir. It is your fault this is happening right now. So, of course, nobody is going to be comforting you and telling you it's going to be okay. Who cares about your feelings? He gets up right in the middle of their conversation to go cry because that's his go-to thing to do. And she follows behind him. It's like he's trying to make her suffer at every turn. He wants that attention so bad. And if it isn't positive, he's gonna cry about it. So in walks Virginia and Eric. Both of them seem very tipsy, and so they get on the subject of consummating marriages. Vincent and Brianna reveal that they have, and I don't know, I just felt like the other people there were trying to make it seem like because they haven't consummated their marriage yet, that they're just trying to get to know each other first. And, you know, I just want to make sure we get to know each other. I don't know, trying to make it seem like, you know, they're doing it the right way because they're waiting, because they haven't done it yet. And it's like, everybody moves at their own pace, and clearly they have a connection. They are married. They're allowed to consummate their marriage. Don't try to make it seem like y'all are so much better because y'all haven't. And I'm glad Brianna got out there and said, well, you know, we went through something already, and so it made us closer. If this were a normal situation, Virginia and Eric would get on my nerves, because don't come jumping in my situation trying to tell me how things are supposed to go because y'all feel like y'all relationship is like up here. Let's see how y'all are on decision day. That's what I want to see. So Virginia and Eric are not aware of what's going on. They feel the tension, and so Eric's like, you know, what's going on? So Chris gets indignant saying, I don't have to explain myself to anybody. Just tell what happened. You don't have to get an attitude. And he tells them that he has a baby on the way. Virginia asks if it's his. I mean, that's a lot. She probably shouldn't have said that. But I mean, anybody would be thinking it. I feel like Eric and Virginia just said what everybody else was thinking. Everybody else was trying to be PC. They didn't mind asking the hard questions. And it's because they were drunk. You could tell, like, they were just, anything was flying out of their mouth because they were drunk. He got really mad about that because it was like, of course I know it's my child. I wouldn't even tell y'all if I didn't know it was my child. And she was like, well, shoot, if I just messed around with somebody out of weakness randomly, I'll be wondering if it was my child. And, you know, I feel like that's a fair question. He was getting very annoyed. And I think in turn that was making Paige annoyed because, you know, she probably called herself having a united front with her husband because she was talking about how triggered he was. Girl, I would have been sitting up there sipping tea and just, you know, why am I feeling uncomfortable or getting mad? I don't care. And Virginia was like, you know, well, how do you feel about this? This is, you know, this is affecting you. You're allowed to feel exactly how you want to feel. And Eric turned around to Chris and was like, this is your time. You need to be focusing on her. Like, this is a tough situation, but you need to be focusing on her. And I was like, yes, Eric, let him know. Somebody needed to get Chris together. Somebody did. And I'm glad he did say that. While he was telling her, you need to be focusing on her right now, Virginia was like, well, you got 9 months. Y'all, that took me all the way out. I rewinded that so many times. I rewinded that part so many times. That was so funny. Chris was so mad. It was so funny. He deserved every second of that. And he was like, well, if you want to be supportive, y'all need to respect our privacy. Boy, shut up. Shut up. Boy, bye. Y'all, I really just feel like Paige is going to be pregnant by the end of this show. And it saddens me that she's going to be, because if she does get pregnant with him, she really is going to be stuck with him for the rest of her life. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this down below. This takes so much out of me, y'all, whenever I review this show these days, because I just hate how this is playing out. But y'all let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? I would love to hear your opinions down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.